Well, good afternoon. We're excited to come to you from the Mauck Studios here. We're overlooking our pond, which is a beautiful place to do an interview. And I'm so excited today to have a special guest. But before I introduce him, I want to tell you a bit about Leaving Your Life Imprint. It's a book that inspired me here. Actually, I was out here on the deck below, and we have two decks here, and it gave me a chance to, with this beautiful pond behind us, we'll try and get some pictures of that as well. Wrote the book about my own family story and how God has used this book to bless other people to find out their story. The worst thing to do is to wait till the end of your life and start your story. I found out, and done too many funerals. Well, I wish I would have known so many more things about the person I was sharing about, a friend even, but never really shared their story with me. So this is a book about you. It's never too early, too late if you want to go ahead and get started on your story and give something really that will live beyond your lifetime for your kids and your family. So you can get that up, and Booker will have the sign, but it's kennymauck.org is where I my site is, and then kennymauck.org/show is the other one. You can access all the episodes and sign up for our and you can get a book if you go ahead and sign up. It's a free book for the first one or two people who respond. We'll give you a free book. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest. It's uh, his name is Bradley Rainwater, and I'm going to tell you something special about him and I before. But I want to first of all share with you about what's so unique about him. Bradley is he's blind, and he cannot see. But I want to through this interview to be able to encourage all of you to realize he has never used that to not accomplish some major goals, even at the young age of 20 years of age. So welcome, Bradley.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Bradley, you know, when you were first born, obviously, okay, he is my nephew. Okay, I'll say that. Um, Bradley, we are all concerned, of course, when you have a child that may have some challenges
Right.
that you did. But what inspired you to make this limited visualization of your life of being able to not see? How have you responded in your own life to that challenge of and what were the things and people that influenced you to become the person you are today?
Yeah, for sure. So I honestly would probably say faith would be my number one kind of driver behind who I am, and what I aim to be. Um, as far as people go, I mean my grandparents and my parents were and still are big influences as far as not letting different things influence how I might act or things that I do or things that I aim to do later in life. I've just always been brought up with the um, assertion that I was going to be my own person regardless of what physical um, you know things I would be able to do or not, but I wouldn't let those affect who I was going to be as a person.
Is there one person that stands out in you that has really driven that thought as well? I know the Lord is obviously God has given you a vision for your own life. What person could you say is probably one of the most predominant people? I know there's several,
Right.
but what's maybe a person that has, since you were kind of born up to now, that you could look at and go, wow, that person, I don't know what my life would have been without.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say my grandfather was and still is to a great extent just my number one cheerleader. He always has made me and influenced me to be the best person I could do in everything I do, whether it be sports or just living life or being the best son or grandson or brother or anything that I could be. He's always wanted and prayed for me to be the best person, and I really model a lot of my um, life around his influence and how he acts in as far as interpersonal relationships.
Hmm. Of course, Grandma
Oh yeah.
fixes you all that good chicken soup, right? And has really kind of influenced you in music, right? I would think,
Definitely.
right?
Yes.
So that 1-2 combo has probably been a powerful influence in your life.
Yeah, I've been more than blessed, I would say, to have both of them as really role models of what I want to be when I grow older.
Yeah, that's great. Well, okay, so okay, this is really interesting for what you got to hear this. He Bradley is a pole vaulter, and he's not been doing it as late, but all through high school, Bradley pole vaulted, and I told him I'm a scene person. I would not want to pole vault. I don't care what person inspired me to do. But Bradley, how did you pole vault not being able to see, running down a the track strip that they give you to then poke that into a hole and then jump and you not see what that had to be challenging.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is practice, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to have my grandfather as my coach. So I mean, he taught me everything I know about that, and another big part of that is the faith aspect of going down and doing something like that and trusting it's gonna
Yeah,
work out okay.
yeah. And you actually got how high in your
We were right around 11 feet, 11.6.
11.6? Okay, again, that's pretty phenomenal. And obviously, the how-to to that, your grandfather had to actually set something. I know steps, counting steps is one of the
Right.
right, but also then there's an important part about what how because you couldn't hold the pole up like normal, would you?
Right. I mean, we tried that, but the accuracy, I maybe would get it in the box. That's the kind of integral part
Right.
of
Yeah.
what,
Yeah,
what
you don't
needs
want to
to
miss the
happen.
box.
No, and we'd get that maybe 7 times out of 10, and it's not good enough. We need a 10 out of 10. So we kind of adapted a few things, and realistically, it's not my way of doing things. A lot of pole vaulters do that now. They will run it across the ground and go that way. So it's just a different way to start the form. The finish would be the same, but the starting
Yeah.
position is a
So
little bit
you were
different.
allowed to put like a strip there, right?
Right.
Yeah. What that's just a little strip that they would put where it would.
So my grandma and grandpa actually had the great idea. We started using landscaping, borders to
Mhm.
put down, and we put rubber pads over those to hold it down, and we would connect those landscaping, um, borders together to make one big track that I could put my pull out pole and run it across.
Okay. Again, what is the feeling of someone who cannot see to go over that height? What goes through your mind and your body as you're experiencing that?
Honestly, I would have to say it's a little bit different every time. Um, I mean, the first time I was like, wow, like that was pretty fun. Because it's a new sensation. If you haven't done it before, it's nothing that can really be explained to you. But as time went on, it just was different every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be confident, sometimes you know not so confident. Sometimes I'd be questioning. But something I did learn is you can't think about what you're gonna do after you've already started. I mean,
it's all in sequence at that point,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you gotta get your mind straight and how things are gonna go before you start, because if you don't, you'll be thinking about too much when
Yeah.
you really can't do that.
And that's when you give up the jump, right? Just if
Yeah, I mean,
you're like,
sometimes it just depends. I mean, if it's during a competition, you got to go with it and
yeah,
kind of push things to the back of your mind. But if it's a practice, I'll stop up short and we'll do it again.
yeah, great. Okay, now let's go to music. Another phenomenon that you have developed in your life, and God's given you that gift of music, obviously. But in fact, you're here in Nashville um, because it's maybe a potential place you might want to live someday, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you're so a multi gifted in the area of music. So tell us about the music. Um, what is that? I mean, again, you can't see, but you're feeling the keys.
Right.
But how does all that? I mean, when did you grow a love for that right away, or was it just over time?
Yeah. So for a long time, I took lessons on the piano, and it was fun, and it was a part of my life that I really enjoyed. But probably from eighth grade into ninth, it became sort of like an outlet for different emotions that I would have, and different things that I would be feeling. I would use music as almost an extension of me to get those emotions, to display them on an outward level instead of holding them in, and being able to translate those emotions into music really enabled and grew my love for music in general.
So you really have never let your inability to see to stop any of your goals.
No, I was brought up by my parents just to. Their saying was that he is a person who happens to be blind, not a blind person,
Ah,
and I think there's a difference
that's good.
between that, because I mean, yes, I happen to, have my eyes not to be able to function normally, but it won't affect, and it really can't affect anything that I do, because I mean, to feel or do anything different would feel wrong to me, and it wouldn't. I wouldn't be me if
Yeah.
anything like that was different.
And I'll tell you how powerful this is. Like yesterday, we decided to go throw the football. Okay. And Enoch, his friend, is with us, and we're going to hear from him next segment too. But what was so great was we kind of engineered a little way to get the ball, and as we throw it, Bradley could catch it. Of course, he used the same kind of methodology. He was using counting. But he never again. I mean, he can catch the ball. It just all he needs is practice. And yeah, sure, he dropped some, sure. But what I love about Bradley, I never told him, "Hey, this is going to be difficult for you." We just went out and did it, right?
Right.
And I think that's what I want to encourage you all that are listening. Maybe you have a son, maybe you have a daughter, maybe you have an adult figure that you love, but they feel like their challenges are just whether it's hearing or seeing or speaking. Maybe in their mind, I can only do so much. But I think Bradley is the prime example for you to be inspired. That don't let any challenge, right? Don't let
Oh
any
yeah.
challenge in life stop you from accomplishing your goals, your ambitions. And here Bradley's a second year into the Spring Arbor College. He's studying music, and he's recording. I mean, a guy that's 20 years old. A lot of again people that have no issues in terms of the senses. Um, all of a sudden, uh, Bradley's doing those things, and he never uses any of that. Um, as a saying, I can't accomplish something. Because he's got some limitation. He's always overcome that limitation by finding a way through it. And I just am so proud of you as your uncle. Uh, I know he's my flesh and blood, but I would be interviewing Bradley regardless, because up in Michigan, he has got a lot of interviews. He's got across the country, people have, said something about, hey, here's this guy in Davison, Michigan. He's a pole vaulter, or he's a musician, or whatever. And he's been interviewing. And so it's just a humbling honor for me as that I would interview him anyways, but he just happens to be my relative. And so I'm honored. We're honored for all you've done and continue to do, Bradley. And I guess what I'd also like to know is, what are your future goals and aspirations that you have? Maybe we can close out our segment by you sharing a little bit. What is your 5-year expectations about your life, and what would you like to see that look like?
Yeah, for sure. So, as far as the short term goes, in May I am releasing my first EP. My first album will come out in May, and that's something that I've really looked forward to and dreamed of ever since I was little, and something I've been looking forward to trying to accomplish. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of different moving parts that affects that type of lifestyle and things. But as far as long term, I do want to move down here and move on as far as my music career. I want to hopefully get a recording contract. Hopefully, just see where God takes me. I mean, it's really not up to me. Whatever He wants is good enough for me.
And he's already started on that. I guess there's a place called Cranberries. Is that right?
Yes.
Up in Davison, Michigan, and they've asked him to perform, and he made us. I think he made some money actually doing this. So he knows there's money to be made and a living to be made by his gift.
Right, definitely. And I don't know. I would just have to say that I'm just blessed, and all the glory, and none of it's for me. I don't want it. I mean, if I can give it all to God and give all of my talents and words and songs to God, then I'd be happy.
Well, let me just close by saying this. The leaving your life imprint is significant in this way. It's people like Bradley's story that I think need to be told. Bradley is he's been asked to do interviews, and some he's turned down just because he's like, hey, I don't feel like I'm not too proud to do it, but I'm like, I have a life, and I want to do what God wants me to do first. And if it conflicts with what the Lord asked him to do, or conflicts with what his own values and morals are, he won't do it. And I love that about Bradley. And I love the fact that nothing is too difficult for him. And for those of you that are listening, like I said, that have a family member, or you yourself are challenged, you feel like you have some challenges in your life, I hope today Bradley's story inspires you, as it has many, many people throughout the state of Michigan. And now he's busting here in Tennessee. We're so excited for the future that he has, and that God has a plan for his life. And I love that. In Jeremiah, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans that will not harm you, but a plan that you will prosper and grow as a person. So let me just say that Bradley, and I'll tell you there's something else that's really special. Bradley did my mother's funeral. He did all the music. He prepared all the charts and everything with a friend of his, and they did great, and with such short notice. But he did so, and he did it because he loves his grandmother. That's just the way he is. And so we're honored. All our family is very proud of Bradley, his parents, Nick and Sarah, and so glad for the efforts that they've made into his life. His brothers, his sisters. It's just, we're all biggest fans of Bradley. And so let me just close by saying thank you Please, like I said, pick up this book, Leaving Your Life Imprint. And the tag is an amazing life that will inspire your own. And the other tagline, I think, is leaving something that lives beyond your lifetime, because a book will do that. I never have to worry about my kids or my grandkids about who I am or what I'm doing. And so this whole podcast is about story. It's about inspiring you to do your story. And this book that I just showed you, please get it. These episodes are being produced by Booker Fritz. He's an amazing producer, and he does a great job of making sure we get these segments all in, these episodes all in. So it's not just this episode, but we have many episodes we've done. Go back and listen to them. Listen to the inspired stories of people. And God bless. We'll look forward to seeing you in our next segment this next week. Talk to you soon.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the show. If you guys have any questions, or if you would like to donate and receive the book, please head on over to kennymuck.org/show. Here you can ask us any questions that you might have, as well as make a donation. Thank you so much for watching.